Welcome to Books and Coffee Chat, the podcast where we dive into the stories you love, the characters you can't stop thinking about, and the plot twists that leave you speechless. Every week, grab your coffee and join us for real, fun, and spoiler-free conversations about books that everyone's talking about. Let's get started.
Imagine a legendary 1970s rock band. I mean, their music defined a generation, their fame was absolutely stratospheric, and their breakup, infamous.
Yeah,
But what was the real story behind Daisy Jones and the Six?
that's exactly what we're diving into today. We're looking at this really carefully put together oral history of Daisy Jones and the Six. And our mission isn't just to, list events. It's to unpack the fascinating, often really conflicting accounts from the people who lived it.
Right, the band members, their families,
Yeah.
key industry people.
Yeah, all of them.
And for you listening, that means getting a shortcut to understanding not just the timeline, but why this band grabbed the world's attention and then just imploded. We'll dig into the surprising facts, the really complex relationships, and the human truths kind of hidden between the lines of what everyone remembers differently.
Because as the author points out, sometimes the real story isn't like on one side or the other. It's right there in the messy middle, which is honestly how a lot of history gets pieced together, isn't it? From memory, from perspective.
Absolutely. So let's start at the beginning, the seeds of it all. Daisy Jones first, born 1951, Hollywood Hills. Daughter of a painter, a model. Privilege.
Total privilege.
Had I-
And stunningly beautiful from the get-go. Those huge cobalt blue eyes, copper hair. So striking that later, in the 80s, they actually named a contact lens color Daisy Blue after her. Can you imagine?
Daisy blue contacts.
Yes.
That's a whole other level of iconic. But despite all that, the money, the beauty, her childhood sounds incredibly lonely. The sources really paint this picture of parents just wrapped up in their own world.
Totally ignored her, basically, using her more like a prop for their artist friends than, a daughter. Her own father, a painter, apparently never even painted her. Too busy with male nudes, the book says.
Wow. So what does that tell us about who Daisy was becoming back then?
Well, it's crucial, I think. She was naturally outgoing, like desperate for connection. There are these little stories. Cutting her hair just to talk to the hairdresser, trying to bake a cake for the mailman, just wanting someone to see her.
That longing for belonging.
Exactly. It's what drove her, at just 14, to sneak into clubs on the Sunset Strip. The Whiskey A Go-Go, places like that. She wasn't really looking for trouble, more like a place. And yeah, she fell into the groupie scene, learned fast.
In that scene back then,
Mhm.
casual drug use was just normal.
Pretty much part of the wallpaper. Amphetamines to stay thin, energized, seen as the easy option. Cocaine. A lot of people didn't even think of it as addictive then. It was just beer.
A very different time. But here's where it gets really interesting for Daisy's own path, right?
Mhm.
She starts realizing her creative ideas are being, well, stolen.
Right. Wyatt Stone takes credit for her song Tiny Love. Some screenwriter lifts her phrase, bat a rebite, for his movie. That repeated feeling of being used, of being the unnamed mute.
That must have been infuriating.
Totally. And that frustration, that's what really lit the fire under her. It made her determined to write her own songs, get her own credit. Her friend Simone said it perfectly right. Daisy had the depth of a Carole King, a Laura Nyro, maybe even Joni Mitchell. But the industry,
They just saw the face.
they wanted an Olivia Newton-John. Pretty, palatable, not a powerful songwriter. So her whole drive became this rebellion against being underestimated, being put in a box. She wasn't just a face. She had things to say.
Okay, fascinating. So she's battling loneliness, the scene, and an industry trying to shape her.
Mm.
Now let's switch gears. Miles away, Pittsburgh, the other half of this equation.
The Dunn brothers. Billy and Graham. Much humbler beginnings. Started playing guitar. Billy, heavily influenced by Dylan and Lennon Hemans, the greats. He was always going to be the front man.
And they formed the Dunn Brothers Band.
Yep, with Pete Loving on bass, his brother Eddie on rhythm guitar, Warren Rhodes drumming, and Chuck Williams on keys initially. Lots of practice, tight bond, especially Billy and Graham. Billy was apparently very protective.
But then tragedy hits them early on.
Yeah, a really profound loss. Chuck Williams gets drafted for Vietnam. Drew number 2 in the 1970 lottery. Died in Cambodia.
Oh man, number 2.
Yeah, and that just shattered Billy. Left him with this heavy, why him, why not me feeling. You can see how that might stick with someone.
Absolutely. That kind of loss, that survivor's guilt, you wonder how much that shaped his later intensity, his drive, even his struggles.
It feels foundational, doesn't it? That brush with mortality probably pushed him almost desperately to find meaning, to make his life count. whether through music or, later, family. After Chuck died, they brought in Karen Serko on keyboards.
And Karen Serko added a touch of class, they said.
And serious talent. Billy's attitude was apparently, if you can play, you can play. Didn't matter if you were a woman.
Which sounds progressive for the time, but Karen herself had a different take, didn't she? She felt men expected praise just for treating women as equals.
Right. Her perspective suggests Billy might have believed in merit, sure, but maybe didn't fully grasp the systemic stuff she was up against daily. The world wasn't a level playing field for her like it was for them.
A blind spot, perhaps?
Maybe. Anyway, Karen actually suggested the name change. The Six. Catchy. And yeah, Warren the drummer apparently liked the double entendre with the sex.
Huh. Okay, so this six it is. And they start having some success on the East Coast.
They do. But that success coincides with Billy really spiraling. Alcohol, drugs, escalating fast. Tequila, Quaaludes, coke, eventually heroin. Roadies were apparently supplying him.
What drove that, do you think? Just the pressure, the access, or maybe still grappling with that earlier loss?
Probably a toxic mix of all of it. Success can amplify demons, right?
Yeah.
Easy access on tour, maybe that underlying existential stuff. It all fed the intention. It got bad.
Until Camila, his wife.
Yeah, Camila Dunn. She was his rock, supported the dream, but drew a hard line. Found him with someone else on the bus, gave him the ultimatum, get sober or I'm gone.
And that worked.
It did. He went to rehab in late '74. And the sources say his main motivation wasn't even the band. It was wanting to be a good dad for their daughter, Julia. To be different from his own absent alcoholic father. Camila's belief in him was key.
Breaking the cycle, that's powerful.
Absolutely. So Billy gets clean. The Six start working on album number 2, 789. He writes Honeycomb for Camila, a song about feeling secure, finding safety with her.
But the producer, Teddy Price, had an idea.
He insisted it needed a female vocal. Karen didn't feel she was the lead singer, so they looked elsewhere. And that's when Daisy Jones, whose own solo career was starting to bubble, despite her own ongoing issues, enters the picture.
The fateful meeting. What was the spark? Why did this collaboration work when so much else was messy?
It was just chemistry. Instant. Daisy heard Billy's voice. She called it evocative and suffering and felt their differences would mesh perfectly. That first session for Honeycomb, legendary.
Yes. Improvised lyrics.
On spot. Started asking these questions in the song that, according to Karen, completely flipped its meaning, turned it from being about security to being about insecurity. A total transformation right there in the moment, creative friction, but also this weird, deep understanding.
Wow. So that one session changes everything.
Pretty much. They perform it live together at the Whiskey. It's electric. The label insists Daisy opens for the Six on their next tour, the Numbers Tour. Billy's hesitant, but ticket sales go through the roof.
And Billy brings Camila and Julia on tour to stay grounded.
Yeah, brave move. And interestingly, seeing that family unit apparently made Daisy pull back on her own drug use just for a bit.
A moment of clarity.
Right.
Or maybe seeing something she wished she had.
Could be both. It's this little glimpse of her humanity under the chaos. It suggests she got the stakes for Billy, the stability he was fighting for, something so different from her own life. Anyway, the tour is huge, diverse crowds, growing bigger. Billy feels strong on stage, sober, but off stage.
Daisy's spiraling again.
Worse than ever, forgetting lyrics, erratic behavior. Plus, she gets into this tumultuous marriage with an Italian guy, Niccolo Argento, who's also deep into drugs.
So outward success, inward chaos, and tensions within the band are simmering too.
Oh, yeah. Eddie Loving feels Billy's shutting down his creative ideas, building resentment, and then Graham and Karen start this secret affair, another layer of hidden drama.
And then Rolling Stone drops that article.
Bingo. Jonah Berg writes, the Six that should be 7 cements Daisy's status as essential, not just an opener, fuels the mystique. Billy hated it at first, apparently.
More fuel for his control issues, I bet. And for that intense dynamic with Daisy.
Absolutely. It just amplified everything. The public narrative confirmed what was happening creatively. That tension between them, it was palpable. It even led to a physical fight between Billy and Niccolo.
Protecting Daisy.
Seems like it. And Daisy apparently noticed that genuine concern from Billy, which was rare for her. Meanwhile, Billy's fighting his own demons, constantly tempted to relapse, especially watching Daisy self-destruct. It was this incredibly volatile mix.
But that volatility, that push-pull, It somehow created their masterpiece, didn't it?
Paradoxically, yes. All that turmoil fed directly into the songwriting for Aurora. Songs like This Could Get Ugly, Young Stars, Turn It Off Please, they're practically diary entries set to music. Denial, attraction, temptation, fighting for stability, it's all there.
The album was their relationship, basically.
Laid bare. And the cover, iconic, Freddie Mendoza shot it. Daisy in that sheer top, pill bottle visible. It became this symbol of female empowerment for some, but also hinted at the chaos underneath.
And it was huge, right? Critically, commercially.
Massive. June 1978. Critics loved it. Fans loved it. It was personal, intimate, but also perfect for giant stadiums. An album for every moment of your life, as one review put it.
But success didn't fix anything, did it? The Aurora tour, which should have been a victory lap,
Became a pressure cooker, totally unbearable. Daisy's addiction got worse. Forgetting lyrics on stage, falling down. Her marriage to Niccolo was just destructive. Drugs, accusations. It was ugly.
the cracks were just getting wider.
And deeper. Inside the band, too, things were breaking. Pete, the bassist, quietly tells him he's out after the tour. He wants a normal life.
Can't blame him.
Not at all. And then, the really painful secret. Karen tells Graham she's pregnant, but she's planning on an abortion. Graham can't handle it. They have this awful fight, and their relationship just shatters.
Oh, God. So everything's imploding simultaneously.
Pretty much. It all comes to a head at the final show. Chicago, July 1979. Billy almost relapses at the airport before the gig. Apparently, Camila showing up with the kids literally saved him right then.
His anchor.
Always. Then, during the show, Daisy sees Billy look over at Camila during Honeycomb, the song that started it all, and she just breaks. Overcome, walks off stage.
And what happens backstage is pivotal.
Truly.
Yeah.
Camila finds Daisy completely distraught, and Camila, instead of being angry or jealous, is just brutally honest. Tells Daisy, look, Billy loves you, yeah, in some messed up way, but he's not leaving his family. Get clean. Do it for yourself, not for him.
Wow. That's incredible clarity and strength from Camila.
An amazing moment of intervention, really.
Yeah.
And it hit Daisy hard. It was the wake-up call.
It works. She left.
Left the band that night, checked into rehab, sober ever since July 17th, 1979. That conversation changed her life.
And Billy?
He saw it too, saw the damage, the cost, gathered the others and said, it's over. He chose his family, his sobriety over the band. A huge act of self-preservation, really.
So they all just scattered.
Went their separate ways, found new lives. Pete Loving runs an artificial turf company in Arizona. Total 180 from rock and roll.
Seriously, artificial turf.
Yep. Happy, apparently. Rod Reyes, the manager, became a real estate agent. Simple life, but a lot of crazy stories. Eddie Loving finally got his own studio, became a successful producer in Van Nuys, got that control he wanted.
And Karen.
Karen Serco kept playing, toured with other bands for decades, then retired to a quiet mountain house. Values her independence, seems reflective, maybe a little solitary.
Graham?
Still heartbroken, it sounds like. Regretful about Karen, carries the love, but also seems a bit unforgiving. Not all loose ends get tied up neatly, you know?
True. And Billy.
Billy Dunn stepped away from the spotlight completely, became a songwriter for other artists, mainly pop, built that quiet, stable life with Camila and their daughters, said it was better than any rock and roll dream.
And Daisy, the wild child.
Found a different path, became an author, adopted kids, started a foundation called the Wildflower Initiative, found fulfillment completely outside the music scene she once dominated.
It's amazing how they all landed. But there's one last piece, isn't there? The real emotional kicker revealed years later.
Yeah. The deepest cut. Billy reveals that Camila passed away recently, at 63, and she left a letter for their daughters, her final wish.
Tell Dad.
Tell your father. Find Daisy Jones. Tell him the two of them owe me at least one more song.
Oh, wow. Just, wow. What a final act of grace from Camila.
Incredible, isn't it? So this deep dive, it really shows you, doesn't it? This blend of huge talent, deep personal struggles, conflicting desires. It created something legendary, but the same forces tore it apart. It's the messy human reality under the rock star shine.
And how history itself is built from these individual, sometimes clashing memories.
Exactly. It's not just a timeline. It's layers of personal truth.
So the story of Daisy Jones and the Six, it's more than music, isn't it? It's about finding yourself. Connection, the choices that define us. It really makes you think how many iconic moments, maybe even in our own lives, are built on these hidden struggles, these different truths. What does it really mean to be broken and still find your way? Whether it's through self-destruction, fierce self-determination, or just finally choosing who you want to be, even if the world wanted something else from you.
And that's a wrap for today's Books and Coffee Chat. If you enjoyed this conversation, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and share this episode with your fellow book lovers. Got a book suggestion or a hot take? Drop it in the comments. New episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. See you next time, and don't forget, keep reading and keep